Fellas, say goodbye to Chuck Sherman the boy. I am now a man. I highly recommend you join the club. We are doing the wild thing all night.
Acid house music.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Sherm.
Sherman, I cook all this food. Is that all you gonna eat?
General Sherman realized and understood the importance of house music.
So, do you know anything about techno?
No.
Listen.
Get it on! Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another brand new episode of Sherm In The Booth. I'm, of course, your host, Sherm. Today is Wednesday, October 9th, 2019. This is episode 85085 of Sherm In The Booth, and I am so excited about this episode. I am positive this was one of the most fun and entertaining interviews I've done yet from one of the most unique and hardworking people I've met in the industry. His name is Justin Braun, aka I'm Justin Braun. He is doing so many awesome things here in the city. He's the CEO of an online music blog called Only the Beat, who is also hosting events all over. He is insane, guys, and you're gonna know this in about 20-30 seconds that he is like none other. He came over with dirty hands, like a bricklayer, like a mason. It was hilarious, but also described everything about him. He literally is putting on these events with his bare hands. He's got a great team behind him, which he's very complimentary of, but I know how much work this guy's putting in. He's had a lot of ups and a lot of downs, but he's here to share his secrets to success, his goals for the future, and his unique ways that he's getting his brand out there. Make sure you guys stick around after the interview for his guest mix filled with tons of unreleased music from artists he knows and loves personally. Let's get into it right now, guys. Episode 85 with I'm Justin Braun. I mean, your story is, from how I've known you and from what I know of you, you're fucking an entrepreneur, like to the max. Like since I've been following you.
Right.
By the way, your social media is fucking hilarious. Everything about you is like absurd, bro. Like these shirts and these shirts. I mean, I'm glad we got this on camera. I know you're a little thrown off, but you got a WYD hat on. That's customized too, right?
Well, I have these hats made.
Right.
So
you go to Lids.
Well, here's the other thing is that I have these one hats now that I have made. Mm-hmm. It's called "Your Nudes Are Safe With Me." It says, and
Jesus Christ. And you got a girlfriend, right?
I do.
She likes that.
I mean, yeah, she thinks all this fuckboy shit is hysterical. Listen, I mean, let me put it this way.
You gotta keep her.
Well, here's the thing, is that if you're gonna date me, you have to kind of take me with a bit of a grain of salt.
Sure.
And she's just such a fucking sweetheart. She knows that I have, like...
What's her name?
Christine.
Christine.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's a special girl you got there.
Yeah, she's great. She's great.
I mean, you got the legendary sports shirt. Where is that shirt from?
So that I actually, it was during Do Division Fest of 2016. I was on a date, and I saw that shirt, and I was like, just boom! It was. See, here's the thing: is that I suffer from. It's kind of like a disease, if you will.
Okay.
If I see a stupid article of clothing, lately it's been in Instagram ads, but just
they get you.
Oh, dude, yeah, and like they know how to market.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I got the ramen noodle tracksuit. I got the fucking, the.
That is just guaranteed proof that they're listening to your conversations.
Oh.
Maybe even reading your mind?
Yeah, I don't know that they can read the minds yet, but they maybe listen to the conversations. I mean, I've had like things where I've talked about something, you see. I mean, they're very clever. But you know what? Everybody is like, oh, that's creepy. It's like, dude, you're not so fucking special.
I agree.
You know what?
Totally
and if they're
agree.
putting shit in front of you that you want, like...
Dude, whatever. Guess what? The government had information the second you were born, and it's just marketing these days and advertising. Like, you probably learned it from your events. I don't know how much, like, ads you do, but,
right.
like, it can get very, very specific.
So that's actually one of the things that is really, like, kind of a big deal to me. Mm-hmm. So...
is marketing and advertising?
Well, no, So one of the things is that we don't really consider ourselves to be like promoters or event organizers.
Okay.
Even though we are, we kind of have a different ethos about us. We are striving. We're very far from being there. But what our end game is to be a cultural force.
Okay. I like that.
And one of the things that I've noticed is, and like I've been throwing parties since before I got into like the DJ music scene. I've just always been throwing like these ridiculous ass parties. Like whenever I would move into a place, like and before I even got into DJs, like I would hire a band and that band would like break in my place and I would throw these wild ass parties.
Nice.
And I've just never had any filter for what comes out of my mouth or who I invited to my home.
I like that.
And what I found is that, like, because I just have so many different people, because I've experienced so many different walks of life, and, like, I have so many different types of friends, like, there's those people that kind of travel in packs, and they've got, like, their boys, and, like, or their girls, and they roll around, like, with the same...
It.
Right, and like for me, it's like no, I just talk to everybody, and
you do.
Like my friend once explained to me that I'm a black hole. Once you cross like within a certain threshold, there is like no escape. But anyways, I've just noticed that like like the vibe at my party, it's never like contentious, even though you have these very different people.
Yeah.
But you put a comment section somewhere, either on a YouTube video or in social media, and people fucking hate each other.
Yeah, they do.
And so one of the things that we are really trying to do with Only the Beat and what our big mission is just to bring people together. I feel like this is a time, especially with social media, where there's so many forces that just drive people apart.
Yeah.
And so what I'm really doing in like my parties, we called them the Braunasium, and I still throw them. Like we want to take the original spirit of the Braunasium, which is like don't take yourself too seriously.
Yeah.
Whatever bullshit it is that you're on, you're leaving at the door, just come fucking party with us. Like have a good time, and like, you'll see some wild shit happen because I have no filter, and everybody is welcome, and I have a very low threshold of tolerance for people's bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, either you really like me or you really don't.
Yeah.
And the people who come to my parties are all the ones who really like me.
Right.
Well, everybody just has a good fucking time.
Yeah.
And, but to get to the point is that I want to get us, like, my end goal is like in the next year or two to have Only the Beat completely dark and off of social media.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like so we do advertise on social media, and we view it right now as a necessary evil. But we also view it as something that we're going to completely wean ourselves off of.
Yeah, absolutely.
At a certain point. I mean, like when Martin Luther King gave his I Have a Dream speech, I think 250,000 people knew where to go and when to go.
Yeah.
And they didn't take out ads in newspapers. They didn't, it was very grassroots. Word of mouth, and people knew where to go and when to be there and whatever. And a bunch of people showed up, and it's not like, they were posting about it on their Instagram.
No, of course. No Snapchat, selfie, or anything like that.
Right.
It's really interesting that you say that, because I completely agree. And I respect the fuck out of you trying to wean off of that, because I felt like kind of in the early 2000s to even 2010, the new decade, people trusted what they saw on social media because it seemed like a factoid, right? Like you Google something, that's got to be true. And then I remember like realizing people can edit Wikipedia, and I was so trusting of that for whatever reason. And now the whole Facebook thing debacle came out with Zuckerberg, and then now we're all like, I don't trust anything on social media. Like even we were just talking about, like most people don't like that they're targeted like that, even though it's so specific. And now it's word of mouth is what people trust.
Right. And that's the thing, is that even word of mouth isn't, but like...
More so, I guess.
Right, but with word of mouth, you can always take like the authority of the person, right? When it's written, and that's the thing, is that it used to be, like, I think that written language, if you think of written language as like a trade that is like 4,000 or 5,000 years old, it was never meant to be used in the manner that it's being currently used in, right?
Yeah.
Like, it used to be that if you wanted to have access to distribution or printing at scale, you would write down your thoughts, you would draft it out, then an editor would look it over.
Yeah.
And if a publisher and a senior editor, like, really thought that you knew what the hell you were talking about, and it had gone through multiple revisions
Right.
and people doing checks and balances, then it got published.
Yeah, that's
right?
true.
Now any jackass sitting in their fucking underwear can do a tweet storm, and millions of people fucking read it and
Right.
have a platform. And it's like, and so for me, and not only that, but then you get to immediately comment.
Yeah.
And immediately react to it, and you don't have any checks and balances in your reaction.
Right.
And the shit that you will say to somebody behind a keyboard is completely different than you will say to them when you got to look them in the eye.
That's a fact.
And so I just want people who are very different from each other to just fucking come together, come party.
I love that, man.
And so, one of the things that I've started doing is an experiment, and I think that it's going to be one of the things that we do to completely get ourselves off social media is all summer I've been rolling around with these little disposable cameras. In fact, I think I took your picture.
Yeah, I saw you posting about those. Yeah.
Yeah. And so what I do now is I write these I know who the people are, and I write these little handwritten notes to them on the back.
That's awesome.
Thank you for coming out, or write something nice about them. And I keep a stack of envelopes, in my backpack or in my car or whatever. When I see people out, I hand them their envelope. And, usually in the envelope, there's also a paper card flyer to the next party, and people really appreciate that. And then, in the Braunasium in my house, I made this whole wall of all the pictures. So
Just recently, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome, yeah.
Well, I just got 4 of them developed. This was the first of this experiment.
Okay.
And people have just people are like, wow, this is so cool. I've never, most people, they see the picture on Instagram and they tap but you get a physical picture in your hand. When was the last time somebody gave you a picture,
Dude, I don't even know.
Yeah.
Physical?
Exactly. Right. Right. I would like for us to just be full analog, just off of social media altogether. Nothing would make me happier than to just delete my Facebook and Instagram.
I mean that, and I'm right there with you. And people say, no, you don't. You love this. And it's a necessary evil. I think you said it best.
Right.
In just kind of the world we live in. I really don't like Facebook.
Yeah.
I feel half the shit, once you've been in this industry for long enough, I don't even know. I feel I'm not logged onto my Facebook sometimes.
Right.
I'm who is this person?
Right.
What is this Facebook ad?
Right.
And I try and not get too caught up in the beginning, when you kind of get into it and you're why aren't people liking this and they like that? And it's you just fuck that shit, man. You put it out there. All you can do is put the best version of yourself, whoever you want it to be.
Right.
And you made a really good point because in the beginning you were talking about the perfections of social media, how edited it is. And people are, more times than not who they are on social media than who they are in real life.
Right. Yeah. And I have had my fair share of internet meltdowns and, people meet me in person and they think that I'm this awful human being based on something that somebody has said or they've read something I've put on the internet.
Yeah.
And then they meet me and they're like, dude, you are completely different than, whatever the internet says about you.
How's that make you feel? How's that make you feel?
I mean,
you don't know the difference. It's you.
Well, no, but you know what? I know I'm going to regret saying this, but to a certain degree, I actually don't mind a little controversy.
Sure.
Yeah, I think that progress is kind of made by being a little polarizing, by having some opinions or having some theories or some thoughts.
Yep.
And I don't know that, I feel that if I were to spend more time and energy worried about what people thought of me, I would not be spending time pushing the envelope or innovating or thinking of just fun new things to do. One thing that I have found is that, especially now that I'm on this hell-bent charge of we are using only the beat as a force to bring people together.
Right.
I have completely stopped doing any kind of political posts or anything that I feel is even remotely divisive. I keep it off the internet. I'll have a conversation with somebody in person.
Sure.
But that's where I can look them in the eye. They can, whatever. And
Real discussion.
A real discussion
Yeah.
that's genuine and I would prefer to do that rather than like be the keyboard warrior.
I've heard that. That's so accurate. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I would like to, and I even like get mad if people on my team make political posts,
Right.
Even with the team, like now, especially just because it's me and I have a way with words, I don't even, like we have our group chats, I don't even comment in our group chats a lot of the time. I just kind of let the team do that.
Yeah.
I set direction either like by calling people, or we have like a weekly team meeting. We're getting too big for that. Pretty soon we're going to have to start splitting our efforts up a little bit. But for right now, we have like a weekly team meeting, which is actually kind of a way that we give back to the community too, because I got a car that fits 8 people in it. So we like...
Do you?
Yeah. Toyota Land Cruiser 2002.
Let's go. All right. Is that the Braun mobile?
Oh, yeah.
You got a name for it, don't you?
No, I actually don't. But
What?
that was the first car that I drove when I was 16. It was my parents' car. And I for the past 10 years I've been begging my dad to sell it to me. He finally sold it to me this year. And
begging him.
Oh yeah, I mean I love that car. And you can fit 8 people in it. I fit all of my speakers in it.
Yeah.
I mean I've got like a pretty big sound rig now.
Right.
And but that car has had some memories in it. And my favorite thing to do, it does not matter what seat the person is sitting. They're like, wow, this thing is like in good shape and it's old and it's big. And I go, yeah, this was like the first car I ever drove. I took my high school girlfriend's virginity right where you're sitting. It doesn't matter which seat it is. It's always right where you're sitting.
You've got your deliverables, don't you? I love it, man. Dude, it's crazy because Only the Beat has really changed a lot since you took over now. Can you give me like the door-to-door where you got involved and where it's at now?
Yeah, so I used to own a software company.
Right.
And in 2014, I got out of it, and for the first time in my life, I was like 28 years old, and I had more time and money than I knew what to do with.
Right.
And so I got into music and yoga in a really big way.
Love it.
Yeah, and I was like going to after parties and like, I had a table at Spy Bar.
You always been into house and techno?
I've been into everything. I mean, I went through around 2008, 2009. I went through like this whole like Justice electro phase.
For sure. It's always the beginning stages are always harder, like more aggressively loud, I guess, so to speak.
Yeah. I mean,
Justice is the shit, though. You still love Justice.
I do still. And I wish I could play it out. Yeah, you just can't.
Oh, man.
And I don't even really DJ that much anymore. I'm mostly like creating opportunities for other DJs. I focus on what I'm good at.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
Of course. Sorry to interrupt. Continue.
Well, no, so I was like half living in San Francisco. I was half living in Chicago.
Wow.
And yeah, and I what I would tell people is that I've come into Chicago for sundress season, and then
good move.
And then I leave as soon as the weather here becomes more intolerable than the women of the Bay Area.
Oh my God.
But the thing is that the yoga in San Francisco was so bad that I wanted to be I was doing yoga teacher training. Mm-hmm. But I would fly back to Chicago to do my teacher training. So for like 6 weeks or 8 weeks, I was like 6 round trips, like boom, coming to Chicago, like go to yoga teacher training all day, turn up at Spy Bar. Sometimes on Saturday, I was going back to yoga teacher training straight from like whatever after hours I'd been in.
Dude.
And I was and I was
savage.
Oh, it was absurd. And I was DJing at my yoga studio in San Francisco. And, I was leaving town every week. And so they're like, dude, would you mind putting a mix on SoundCloud for us so we have something to play when you're not around?
Okay.
And so I went and did it. And this was like in 2015, right when SoundCloud was had like a bug up its ass about taking things down for copyright.
Yeah, of course.
So it immediately got taken down for for the copyright infringement.
Yeah.
And, I had a software engineering background, so I was like, fuck you, I'll make my own streaming service.
Yeah, nice.
And so I did.
Did you really?
Yeah. It was, it was just like hosted, like I had this website, it was like imjustinbraun.com. It was like my personal blog. This was during a phase where, again, I had more time and money than I knew what to do with. I needed nobody for anything. And if I wanted to share my opinion, I couldn't care less who read it. And, I was not seeking the approval of anybody. So I put together this guide of, like, if you want to make your own streaming service, here's the source code. Here's how you do it.
That's awesome, though.
And, I was hosting it on imjustinbraun.com. And, as I was doing this, I was, like, looking into the legalities of it. And I was looking into the technology. Once you kind of start down a rabbit hole, so I was like, actually, I kind of want to start my own music streaming service.
Okay.
And I was put in touch with this dude who had started a blog. At this point, it was like one of the top 5 EDM blogs in the country. It was called Only the Beat.
Right.
It was started in 2012.
Huge, dude. I mean, the interviews, when I first looked at that website, was fucking absurd.
Well, so they, at their peak, were doing like 2.5 million unique visitors to the site every month. Yeah, they were getting an absurd amount of traffic.
It's a lot for a blog.
Yeah. Well, the dude who started it, and I want to preserve somewhat of an anonymity here.
Okay.
But, it's not that difficult to figure it out, but either ways, he had basically knocked someone up and had to, like, kind of move back to his hometown to kind of go be, life was getting real for him.
Yeah.
He needed out of that business.
Yeah.
And this was right around the time that I was wanting to get into it.
Yeah.
I had no connections, knew nobody, but, I, like, had some technology, and so I basically bought Only the Beat from him in effective January 1st, 2016, and began operating it. And at that point,
chisel and a rock. That's what it sounds like to me. Right?
Yeah, and at that point, we had 100 people that wrote for it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
And I had no experience being in the music industry or running a media company, none of that.
Yeah.
My plan was just very simple. This site has a lot of traffic.
Yeah.
I'm going to turn that traffic into streaming music service, and as I started digging in and learning more about the business, I realized that my idea for a streaming service was actually really fucking stupid. And I was going to get sued out of business, like, almost immediately.
Yeah.
And so, but I still wanted to do it. And so I was like, what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to start DJing, and I'm going to start throwing events, and I'm going to build the tools that I would want to use as a DJ, and I would build the tools that I would want to use as an event organizer.
Sure.
And so this took on, like, multiple phases.
Yeah.
But then what ended up happening was 2 things. So, 3 things. The first thing was that as I started DJing, I kind of fell in love with the party a little bit too much.
Yeah.
And started spending a little bit less time managing writers.
Yeah.
Then, like, there was, like, this 1-2 punch. And I was burning money really fast. And, like, if I had not been a fucking idiot, like, when I had gotten out of the software business, I probably would have not been set for life, but, like, would probably have not been. But I was just, like, fliff, not even counting.
But, like, you wouldn't have, if you went back to yourself now, if you just ran into someone like you were like, don't do this. For sure.
You
would have said, fuck you, I'm partying.
Well, yeah, for sure. People will never listen to anybody who tells them, like, to practice restraint. You have to figure that out the hard way.
You do. You absolutely do.
Yeah, and so it was like this 1-2 punch. The first thing that happened was the 2016 election happened. Facebook decided that they were going to make fake news enemy number 1.
Yeah.
And one of the things that they did was if people posted an article to anything, like, you'd just get no engagement, no views, no impressions.
Yep.
Like, they did, so overnight, it was like somebody walked in and just turned off the light switch on our traffic. Damn. We went in, like, a 2-week period of time from, like, 2 million down to 200,000 page views.
And it wasn't you had the same amount of likes and followers. It was just literally traffic.
It was just, so at that time, I think we had like 24 1,000 Facebook followers on our Facebook page.
Right.
We had
a
like
lot.
yeah, we had like 5,500 Insta, 6,500 Twitter.
Right.
You know, but like our engagement, if we put a post up, we'd get like 2,000 or 3,000 likes.
That's
you
awesome.
know, now then if after that, if we put a post up, we'd get like 4 likes and like 3 clicks on it.
What?
Yeah, I mean it was absurd. And there was nothing you could do, even if like a bunch of like, you know. Then I was like telling like the, you know, all of the writers like, look, let's just be basically a gang. Like when one writer posts an article, let's all share his post.
Right.
Didn't matter how. Like it was like somebody just turned Facebook from this like page view generating machine to just like a stone wall.
God.
And so that sucked. I also threw this disaster of a festival in the desert. I lost like 25 grand that weekend.
Where at?
It was out in the Mojave Desert. I had a dope lineup.
What?
Yeah.
You threw a festival in the Mojave Desert?
I did.
Only the Beat Festival?
Yeah, it was a week before Dirty Bird Campout.
Uh-huh.
It was the same weekend as Cross Festival.
Oh.
I had a lineup that didn't rival Cross, but it was pretty damn close.
Who was on it?
So I had Jody Westernoff.
Nice.
I had Golf Clap.
Nice.
I had Sasha Robati. I had
great.
Fritz Carlton. I had 530, who's a huge local out in Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
I had Eyes Everywhere.
Yeah.
I had Intermodal. I flew Marty McKenna.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh my God. I mean, but I lovingly refer, or not so lovingly refer to that festival as the disaster in the desert.
Jesus.
You know, and I had these scumbag partners that were like ran off with a bunch of the ticket sales. You know, so even though like I was gonna take a bath on it, like I was gonna lose my ass on that festival no matter what.
Right.
But they ended up just like, because they were losing their asses, just kept all the ticket sales money, or they got to it before I did.
It still happened though?
Oh, the festival happened. Yeah, it was a total disaster.
Jesus.
Yeah, like 300. I mean, it was not Fire Festival bad because it actually happened. It was more along the line of like Myth Festival bad.
Okay, gotcha.
Like, you know,
you learned from that though.
What's that?
You learned a lot from that, I bet.
Yeah, I mean, I just stop overextending myself. You know,
Yeah.
I like with Only the Beat, like it looks like we're doing a lot very fast, and we are, but we're very mindful of whether or not can we pull this show off.
Okay,
Right?
yeah.
So, you know, I'm watching what is our reach, what is our response, how does our ticket sales do.
Okay.
I'm very, you know, cognizant of how does it fit into the budget, how worn out is my team, you know.
Sure.
We're you know, and we'll kind of go in sprints too, where like, you know, I think that we did like at the end of August into September, we did 3 shows in 3 weeks, right? And then we took a little break, and we've got, you know, the warehouse party this weekend, right? Then we're taking another break, and we're doing a party at Spy Bar. I think it'll be announced by the time this goes live.
Yeah, awesome. Congrats,
yeah.
that's huge.
Yeah, so we're doing one at Spy Bar, you know, in November. And we might, like, add 1 or 2 small shows, but, like, you know, we stress ourselves out, we push ourselves, and we kind of come back, like, take in all of the lessons.
Yeah.
But, like, we live to fight another day. Like, you know, I bet all of my chips on one festival, and that one festival went bad, and I walked away from it with my tail between my legs.
Yeah.
And then it was, like, kind of a wake-up call. So I put this all away. You know, I took 2 years off, like the end of 2017, with the exception of like the party in Detroit, just because like that was a
No
party
skin
that
off your back, sort of, yeah.
I mean, that party just sells out every year. It like kind of manages itself. All I have to do is bankroll it.
Yeah.
You know, I have a really good, at least I have a really good understanding of my crowd, a good nose for like who to book and whatever.
Going down next year?
Oh, of course.
Okay, well, we'll be there for that.
Yeah, I mean, it's never not sold out. You know, the one that I did last year sold out in like 45 minutes after I announced.
Yeah, bro, there's a dope lineup on there, too.
What, the Desert Hearts one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was so sick.
Yeah, that was.
I saw that and I was like, oh, okay, I see you. That's legit, though. I mean, it's crazy to where you took it. It's almost like that would have happened inevitably. So I think it ended up in good hands, you know?
Yeah.
With where it's at now.
Yeah, I mean, that all started in 2016. Oh my God! I mean, it does not bear repeating on the air, but I will tell you the story of how that party came into happening.
Yeah.
But and this was before I knew what I was doing, before I was organized, before I had a team.
Mm-hmm.
But that party basically was 100% going to happen 45 minutes before we loaded in.
What the fuck, dude?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah. I mean, it was like, Murphy's Law, what can go wrong will go wrong.
Oh, God.
And I had one DJ that no-showed. I had an RV that, the company that was renting it to us, we were going to use it as a tour bus, basically gave us, 2 hours notice that they didn't have the right insurance, and so we couldn't take the RV, which meant that they refunded me, but it's going into a holiday weekend, and I'd already I had 4 shows in 4 days. I mean, it was everything that could go wrong did go wrong.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That you even got through that.
I didn't sleep for 4 days.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, I didn't sleep for 4 days. I mean, it was absurd. It was absolutely absurd.
Did you have any fun?
What's that?
Did you have any fun?
The entire experience was a blast. Everybody else was terrified.
Yeah.
And the thing is that in lieu of proper organization and planning, those were never my strong suits.
Right.
Especially when I was a party animal.
Yeah.
But I have always been incredibly resourceful.
Yeah.
And so I managed to make it happen.
Yeah.
By the skin of my teeth.
Yeah.
And I know that I can always rely on that, which is why I keep a pretty cool head.
Yeah.
In the chaos of throwing show business or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But now we have to be a little bit more grown up. And,
sure.
This was the first year I'd ever really done it. I mean, you gotta understand something.
Yeah.
I started in 2015. Mm-hmm. The first DJ gig I'd ever had was for one of the reverse parties.
What?
Yeah.
That was one of the first gigs you ever had?
Yeah,
Nice.
it was the tail end of October. That was the first gig I ever played. And I had this little secret, and it was look, throw me on the lineup if you want press coverage.
Nice.
And I had...
For sure.
And that was back when Only the Beat actually had traffic. If I wrote about a party, it would put bodies in the doors.
It's give and take, man, of course. I
Yeah.
get that. Yeah.
So the first gig I ever played was one of those reverse parties.
That's
the
legit.
next gig that I had after that was BPM Festival.
What?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, it was a shit show. So the point was that it was
Yeah.
very much a trial by fire.
Right.
I never had any fucking clue what I was doing. I still don't. But I'm well, whatever. This can't be that hard. I'll just improvise it.
Right,
you
right,
don't
right.
know what you don't know.
Right.
So you don't even it's not intimidating because you're too stupid to even realize how insurmountable what you've signed up for is.
Yeah, damn.
And then you just rise to it.
I actually kind of like what you're saying.
You'll figure it out.
Yeah, man,
You bite
fuck
off
it.
more than you can chew, and then you're committed now.
You set yourself up for success as best you can, but you know that things are going to happen that you can't control. So why have any expectations of when it actually starts? I love that.
Yeah, one of the guys who is on my promo team, he has this great saying. I love it. He goes, your answer to everything should just be yes, until it's a no. I take the complete opposite approach. I say no to almost everything, unless I'm dude, this is fuck yeah, let's do it.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think that there's something to be said for this sounds absolutely stupid and absurd. Sounds like fun. I'm in.
Yeah. I get that. I mean, it sounds so you are the CEO/owner.
Yeah.
By title,
Yeah.
but it seems like you kind of push a lot of the buttons, pull a lot of the triggers. What's your exact role, day to day, and kind of the scope?
I'm when I rebooted Only the Beat, it was just me. Right. So I took after I pretty much took most of 2017 off. I took all of 2018 off. Mm-hmm. When I came back, it was just me.
Yeah.
Right. I had no team, nothing. And, when I would throw the boat parties or whenever I would throw these parties, it was usually just me running around, pissed off, figuring out how to get this, that, or the other. So I got to be very good at fulfilling any individual role. But so now what I have figured out is that that doesn't scale.
Yeah.
So, right now I am, kind of mentoring a team, and so I actually am taking the only thing that I really handle now that I'm directly responsible for now is just the money, the talent buy, and mentoring.
Okay.
And then I do all the dirty work too. Just
I was gonna say the pictures you were showing me, you're hanging up the fucking speakers, man.
Oh yeah.
He came in here, guys. I want everybody to know, with fucking construction shit all over him, dirty ass hands. He's like, oh well, can I wash my hands? Like, all right, what are you doing? I mean, you really care though. I know you say a lot is moving and you're helping people, but I can just tell with your events and how you promote them and who's on them.
Right.
And most importantly, the people that are on the events, how much they care. I mean, it's like you said, people are with you, they're with you, man.
Well, so that's part of the way that we program our shows. So one of the things that I found is that a lot of DJs are famous for what I call throwaway gigs. Okay. It's somebody offers you to play a gig, right? And I don't know, couple $100 is a couple $100. Fine, I'll just say yes to it. I'm just gonna show up 15 minutes before my set, play, and then leave.
Yeah.
And DJs, and I'm not gonna promote it. I'm not gonna be that hyped about it. Whatever. So one of the things that we do now is we are very meticulous about who we book, and what I try to do is make sure that whoever it is that I'm booking, that I am the most exciting show that they are playing that month.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Because then I don't have to be up their ass to promote.
Right. You don't want
to. Right. They're genuinely excited to play my show.
Yeah.
And so usually, whenever we have a talent buy, I'd sit down with everybody from the headliner. I don't care if an agent needs to be in the way or whatever. It's no. I wanted 30 minutes to talk on the phone with the headliner.
Yeah.
To the locals. And I explained to them, look, we're not just an event organizer. This is kind of what our vibe is. We want people to be very excited about it. And if we're just another show to you, I would rather give the gig to somebody that's going to be thrilled to play this show.
Yeah.
And to be a part of it.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah. I mean, I've just found that when people are inspired, they work way harder than you can't pay anybody enough to be excited to do their job. They're either excited to do their job or they're not.
They have to mean it.
Right. And you cannot fake it with money.
That's so true.
Yeah. So we're pretty careful about how we program our shows.
I like that. Yeah.
We make mistakes. We misprogram shows all the time, or we have miscommunications. And we walk away from every show with just a laundry list of shit that we've learned, and we're refining our processes. And, so right now, really, I'm mostly focused on kind of building up, my people who work with me. My end goal is to have it be so that other than writing and cashing the checks and maybe having some say into the headliner talent buy discussions, I would like it to get to a point where I don't even have to show up to a party, and I can fully rely on everybody knowing that it is going to go off and it's going to be full send.
That's the dream, right?
Well, yeah, because then we can, grow, and we can take this our ethos to other parties, or to other geographies, right?
Yeah.
But the thing that we're that's really important to us is we want to make the pie bigger, right? I tell my team, somebody is turning 21 every day. They're going to have a birthday party. They're going to be going out.
Yeah.
Or even better, somebody at their local bar or some douche bar or whatever, listening to garbage music is going to be there's got to be more to partying than this.
Yeah.
And so, what I want to do is kind of be that first step or that first impression. So somebody goes to an underground party and they're like, really? This is an underground party? This is afters?
Right.
Oh, this isn't so bad.
Yeah, that's so true. It's too mysterious to some people, and there are plenty of people like, I'll use my little brother for an example, right? So he's 3 years younger than me, and he loves house music, but like he was always, for lack of a better term, afraid of what it might be. And I'm like, no, dude, come. Like, this is like the most high. It's not like everybody running around on fucking drugs. Like, these are people who genuinely love the music.
Right. And don't get me wrong, there are the drug parties.
Of course,
right?
Of course. But guess what? That's everywhere. Like,
yeah, right. And so the thing is that, you know, we don't want, like even our after hours, we close them a little bit early. Like, we stay open late, but we don't stay open drug late.
Right.
You know.
Well said.
I almost think about it like in a way, just in the way that I got into yoga.
Yeah.
Right. So 6 years ago, if you had done a Google image search for Wall Street douchebag, like, my picture probably would have come up. You know, like, I am a complete 180 from who I was back then.
Okay.
And I was listening to shit music, you know, going to douchebag bars.
Yeah.
You know, whatever, like, that aesthetic was, that's what I was really into, you know.
Yeah.
And one of my friends, who was a hedge fund manager, was like, dude, the girls at this yoga studio are so hot, I'm going to go be like a yoga teacher. And I was like, yeah, okay, whatever. Well, he actually did it.
Yeah.
And, like, he originally did it as a way to go pick up chicks. And so, yeah, I know. And, you know, so then, like, we were, like, getting drinks one time. He's like, dude, I'm teaching my first yoga class. You got to come to it. And I was like, dude, he was another, like, just hedge fund manager type.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I was like, dude, if you are teaching a yoga class, I will be your first student.
That's awesome.
But I went into a core power, right? And, like, you know, had kind of more of like a gym or a bougier kind of vibe to it.
Yeah.
You know, if I had gone into like one of like the crunchier yoga studios, you know, with like some fucking weirdo lighting off incense in the corner and like people chanting and like, you know, passing crystals around and God only fucking knows what. Like, I would have, like, think about this. Wall Street douchebag would walk in, take one look around and just fuck this and turn around and walk around.
Yeah.
Instead, I went into a core power, and like now if I went into a crunchy yoga studio, would it be for me? Probably not, but would I stay? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and I've got friends who are in that community, and like, you know, they do their thing.
Yeah.
And, like, if they invite me, I'll go to it. Like, why not?
Yeah.
But it took that first step of me going to something that was a little bit more accessible. I would like for our afters and our underground and our pop-ups and our offsites, you know, and our club parties for that matter. I mean, even clubs can be intimidating, right?
Yeah, definitely.
To the uninitiated.
Spy is not for the faint of heart, man. Yeah.
Yeah, and so we want people to come to our parties and be like, okay, you know, there's no fire dancers. There's nobody like handing out crystals or Reiki healers
leaky
or
ceilings and like a clogged like toilet and all that random shit.
Right.
And
Like,
that's what people think.
Right. And you know, people doing drugs out in the open. Like, I want none of that.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep.
Like, you know. Like, be discreet, hold your shit together. If you're way too intoxicated, you're going to be escorted out. You know, we do throw undergrounds, but we want it to be very accessible and not off-putting.
Okay.
And people go to it and be like, oh, this is cool. This is not what I had in mind. I was expecting Drug Den. Instead, what I got was this dope-ass party with great music.
Yeah.
That everybody is welcoming because I bring in people from every background.
Yeah. Everybody's dancing, too.
Everybody, I mean, and if you don't want to dance, you don't have to. There's chill spots, too. There's high tops. There's people mingling.
Right.
You know, you have, like, this good ecosystem of people where it's, like, real diversity.
Yeah.
Where it's, like, you know, it doesn't matter what you look like or what your background is. You can walk in, find somebody who looks like you or like who is familiar or whatever, and then you can venture out and meet new people too. You know, and it's not intimidating, or I want it to not be intimidating to anybody. And then if you want to go to some of the more undergrounds or some of the more like kind of, but at least you've taken your first step.
Yeah.
And so for me, I don't consider other promoters in the game to be my competition. I consider them to be my community.
Yeah.
When I think of competition, I think of every Netflix account, every Grubhub, every lazy girlfriend who doesn't want to go out, everybody getting old, having kids, like anything that keeps people inside.
Yeah.
Comment sections are another one.
Yeah.
Somebody's fucking Facebook meltdown, or like anything like that. Anything that drives people apart,
right,
or keeps people inside. I want people to go out. And so if you go out to another show, I don't care. I'm happy for that.
Yeah.
And actually, in fact, like when I do my mailing list, I'm in kind of a group chat with like a number of other event organizers, and I always like once a week, hey guys, send me links to your parties. I'll plug your parties. Like I just want people to go out.
Yeah. You sent me one of your emails, and it was like it was so many different things, and I was like, wow, like really love that community aspect that you're bringing to the underground scene.
Yeah, well, you know what? I got that from. So again back in my like douchebag history, I got to go to one of those like like $1,500 a plate dinner type things. It was like a fundraiser, but it was for Governor Hickenlooper.
Jesus. When was this?
This was in 2014. Maybe 13, I want to say.
I wish I could meet the old you just for 1 minute.
I mean, dude, it doesn't. I even went through in 2011, and like I'm shooting myself in the foot by saying this, but if you deep Facebook scroll, I even went through a fedora phase. Oh. I'm not proud of it, but I did.
You were like, you looked in the mirror and said, "Today's the day. I fucking this is it."
Somebody put a fedora on my head, and I was in a mirror, and I was like, "Damn, I look fucking good." And like, reality is, I was just drunk. I mean, if I would just looked in that mirror anyways, I'd be like, damn, I look good. But yeah, I went through a fedora phase because
That's
of
awesome.
that.
Now you got a what you doing hat on.
Yeah.
Alternate realities, but not so different. I like it, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, no, but anyways, he was like explaining about how he got to be like first mayor and then he was governor. Like he had like an uncle that died or something. He was he basically inherited a building. Okay. And like he and a couple of his buddies, and it was like in the middle of the ghetto, and he and his buddies managed to scrape together just enough cash to put together they put like a brewery, like a brew pub, like in the ground floor. But it's just like, in like a shit neighborhood, people are doing drugs on the street, overdosing. Yeah. There's like hookers, gangs. Like it was just in a nasty part of town.
Yeah.
And so what he would do is he would take out like billboards, magazine ads, and whatever for all of the other local businesses in the area and all the bars and clubs and whatever. Mm-hmm. And people are like, dude, why are you advertising for your competition? Are you fucking stupid? He's like, no. This is my community. And if people just get used to coming to this neighborhood, then, people start moving in, money will come into the community. Yeah. If it does well, we'll all do well. Mm-hmm. So I want everybody to do well and we'll all grow this together. Wow. And so, I've managed to get on group chats with all the event organizers. Mm-hmm. We try to stay out of each other's way in terms of if I'm throwing a house show, maybe somebody else throws a techno show. And
right.
We're not trying to corner the market or anything, but we all just kind of are a part of a community.
Yeah, I kind of noticed that too, actually, even at the bigger clubs,
Right.
Like if it's even as big as Prism or a Sound Bar, a Spy Bar,
right.
They're not all in the same lane.
Right,
so to
right,
speak,
right.
Yeah.
We definitely try to do that to a certain degree.
Yeah.
The other thing that I do, and I'm constantly on top of my promo team to do this, is look, I don't want to compete with the same people who go to Spy Bar every night, or
no matter what. Right?
Those are the people who already get it. If I want to be this force of the first step, it's no. Let's go to the college bars. Let's go to the douchebag bars. Let's go talk to people.
Yeah.
The other thing that we're starting to do, I figured out that Chicago is very much a commuter city.
Yeah.
Which is why club nights that are in the city have a tough time, because if you put yourself in the shoes of like, you know, an average working professional, right?
Yeah.
The last thing they're going to do, if they live in Wicker Park or Logan Square, let's say, they're not going to get up at 6 a.m, get dressed, commute to work, right? Go home, change, go back downtown to turn up in the club till 4 a.m. Like, that's just on a Wednesday.
Did that trip,
right? On a Wednesday, that's just not going to happen.
Yeah,
you know, but they might go to their neighborhood bar. So what we're starting to do is we're going to start doing like rotating Thursdays.
Okay.
Where, you know, we're going to do like one in Pilsen, right, in a neighborhood bar. Right. And it's just going to be a small show, probably local DJs.
Right.
We'll bring our own sound. We're going to do it like in like, you know, rotating venues.
Yeah.
You get to know the neighbors. You get to know the community.
Yeah.
You get to know all of the people who would not normally know that you even exist.
Yeah.
But you're like in their backyard. So people are going to come and they're going to hear and they're going to see.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then on the weekends, you bring them all together
right.
in the warehouse or in the club or on the boat party or, you know, in some underground tunnel that I found or wherever, you know.
That's incredible. What a great idea and an awesome way to kind of get off social media, right?
Yeah, and I mean, like
You're really fucking paving a perfect path, man. I love this.
Yeah, I mean, like we want to go as analog as we can. You know, it's not going to be immediate.
Yeah.
But like one of the things that I've found is that like social media is also like shortens people's attention spans.
Yeah.
So like,
true.
Yeah, like even on my phone now, like I almost am shooting myself in the foot for doing this or kicking myself.
Yeah.
Because I like went and got like the new iPhone and like to be honest with you, I almost want like one of those little like feature phones that like doesn't even like send text messages. Like if you want to get a hold of me, you call me. Because like, you know, people get into those gray walls, you know, like I mean, you know, if you have a girlfriend and you get like that gray wall. Fortunately, my girlfriend and I, we do not text each like except for like making plans. It's like back and forth. We call each other. We talk in person.
I like that.
But like, I really want to get off of the smartphone addiction.
I feel addicted.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Dude, do this. I have my settings so that it locks. Like there are just certain hours that it just completely locks me out of. So I have to put in an extra passcode to like open Instagram.
So you really got to check yourself.
After 10 p.m., I cannot get on Instagram. And then even during the day, I only give myself 30 minutes across all social media apps on my phone. Now, can I cheat and go on my computer? Yeah. But, like, you know, even then on my browser, like, I have this little app called Stay Focused. Like, you know, because, I mean, dude, I'm a little, I mean, I'm a crack baby for that stuff, too. And I just realized that it's not good for my
I used to think I
headspace.
can follow accounts and I'll learn from them. And to a certain extent, there are definitely accounts that I learn from.
Yeah.
But a lot of it's fucking bullshit. And it bothers me that I feel like I have to look and I'm locked in. It's like, I feel like I'm in a trance.
Yeah, it
Our whole
does.
generation, it's a common theme.
Well, you know what? It's almost like quitting smoking, okay?
Okay.
You go a week of it and you're all antsy. It takes about a week to this, like, lowered level of stimulation. Yeah. I'll send you a TED Talk on, like, exactly how, like, the neurological bits about, like, why it actually, like, basically your phone produces all this dopamine.
Yeah.
And if your stimulation level gets really high, your attention spans get really small.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, your brain down-regulates dopamine because you're getting so much of it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so true. There's direct correlation. And that's why you want like all these flashy, perfect accounts because it's like, okay, good, got it. It's like what you see in these fucking Pixar movies, man. Like, I believe that shit is going to happen. You know, like WALL-E, man. Like, we're all going to be fucking on our chairs like this with the TV like this going around and we're just, we gotta do whatever we can. Our generation has to fucking be the reason.
Yeah, and I mean, you know what? It was so funny. Like, by virtue of having to take like those disposable cameras to a place that I mean, it took me a while to find. It took me a long time to figure out where I could even go get these things developed because I buy them at Walgreens. But if you take them to the Walgreens, like the staff there, they're like, you know, we don't really like. They don't even know how to like send them in or anything. But I found this old school camera store. It's like right on Wabash and like Jackson, I want to say.
Okay.
And it is like a time capsule you walk in. I mean, like, literally, it's like the punch calculators where they calculate their bill. Bill. You know, like, they've got, like, the credit card machine. Like, you know, I think they just got, like, a proper swipe credit card machine. Before it was, like where it does, like,
oh
a
my
carbon
God, I forgot about those.
Yeah, like, they actually, like, punch up, like, on a calculator to figure out what you owe them. Like, they are, like, mailing these things in. It was not I mean, like, it's just all these walls of, like, rolls of film. And I think that, like, on the sign, it says, like, open since 1899. And you know what? I would not doubt if that place, like, it looks like it's been open since the 1800s.
I love that. Holy shit.
Yeah.
What a great way to kind of, like, connect with history.
Yeah, I mean, there's
too.
still, like, tar on the walls from, like, back when you could smoke in that building, I bet
Jesus
you. You know, I mean, like,
Christ,
it's a time capsule.
Oh
but.
my God. Justin, something I really want to ask you, especially after hearing all this stuff and just knowing you know, a lot's changed in the past decade. I mean, I can't believe it's October right now. It's going to be 2020 in a few months.
Yeah.
What's been the biggest change you've seen happen? Let's even call it since 2010. And what do you think is going to happen in 2020 and beyond?
Dude, I'm so new to the game. I mean,
yeah.
Like, if
from your perspective, maybe as a DJ, a fan then even.
Yeah, but you got to remember that until 2014, I wasn't even really going out. Okay, I was like a very hot star that burned very bright, like maybe tail end of 2015 to all of 2016.
Okay.
And then I took 2 years off.
That's true.
So if you really think about it, like, even though I've been in the game for like 5 years now, not even like 4.
Yeah.
Realistically, like, I mean, I just rebooted Only the Beat in April, and it's now October.
Yeah.
So that's like 6 months. Plus, like, a year and a half. I've only been doing this for, like, 2 years.
It's impressive how far you've come then.
Yeah, I mean, like...
you've learned a lot, though, in that period of time.
I'm
That's for
constantly
sure.
learning more, you know?
Well, what do you think's going to come then, like, from all this, the festival craze, the fucking rise of house music kind of to the mainstream, quote-unquote, not mainstream, but somebody like Chris Lake and Chami headlining main stage festivals?
Yeah, I mean, you know what? I think that's so difficult to predict. Mm-hmm. And to be honest with you, as an event organizer whose charge is to bring people together, and I'm sure that somebody's comment section is gonna blow up when I say this. To be honest with you, I don't fucking care. Okay, like,
best answer yet.
Realistically, I don't, because I'm gonna. I really, like, I like house music. That's where, like, if I'm gonna DJ, and I feel like I feel like it's underrepresented. The city of Chicago does not respect house music the way that the city of Detroit respects house music.
Dude, but Detroit is next level,
Yeah, but my thing is that, like, you know, things go in and out of style. They get trendy, then they're not trendy, then they're cool, then they're not. As a talent buyer, I'm going to buy whatever's cool.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
I'm going to buy whatever, you know, and, like, you have to have a very fine touch between being principled enough that you're not, like, just jumping on whatever fad or whatever bandwagon.
Yeah.
You know, and, like, we don't like gimmicks.
Yeah.
But my thing is that, like, my litmus test is, if it's something that brings people together in a positive way, I'm about it.
Okay.
Right? So if it's, like, you know, music where people are being fucking assholes to each other, I'm not interested.
Yeah.
If it's something like house music that's just, like, feel good music, I'm into that.
Okay.
You know, and, you know, if I realistically cared about what was trendy or what the styles were, I'd be spinning top 40.
Yeah.
You know, I wouldn't care. I'd be playing at Bottle Blonde, for fuck's sake, you know.
That'd be a sight.
You know, I mean, like, I would rather be kind of somewhere, you know, I'd like to be the first step that you take to the underground.
Yeah. Dude, seriously, like, the way you explain that with the yoga, I love it. Like, and there is such a huge untapped market here that's just ripe for the taking, man.
Yeah, and I mean, the thing is that, like, to me, I just believe that dance music brings people together.
Yeah.
And so, you know, what I want to do is I want to put on dance music events. Mm-hmm. If I thought that, like, putting on sailing regattas brought people together in such a meaningful way, I would do that, and I'd be good at it.
Yeah, and you love sailing, don't you?
I do. I mean, that's why I use that as an example.
Yeah, I love it.
But my thing is that like I want my parties to be for everybody.
Yeah.
And so, whether you're a veteran of the dance music scene, and you think maybe we were too basic for you, fine. Or you're, just taking your first step and you're like, wow, this is like a little bit of a stretch for me, but I'm going to give it a try.
Yeah.
I want that too, and the reality is that like the veterans who like feel like I'm too basic for them, don't, just give it time. They'll come around.
Yeah. Yeah.
We are investing big time in our sound and our production quality and the production value. We really want to create like good experiences, but at the same point, I'm never going to be gimmicky or overdo it. Like I want it to be just somewhere in the middle and like just right.
Absolutely. Man, that's amazing. You've booked a lot of awesome and upcoming artists too. Is there anybody you want to kind of let the people know who might not know him? I know John Summit's a big one for you that you've booked many times.
Yeah, so
up.
Yeah, John Summit is great.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to talk about like who I would like dream booking or whatever.
Who's on the rise? Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't even want to talk about that because like realistically,
it's a secret.
Well, not only that, but if their agent finds out that I said, "Oh yeah, I really want to book this dude," you got to like kind of play a little different.
That's true. That's true.
So I would rather just say like these are the ones who I think are really fucking dope.
Yeah.
When the flyer form gets blasted and it's booked.
Yeah.
With that said,
okay.
Acts that we've booked in the past.
Yeah.
John Summit is a great one.
Yeah.
He plays really well.
Yeah.
He's easy to work with. He hustles his ass off.
Good guy.
Yeah. Phenomenal dude.
Yeah.
He's just, I mean, everybody loves that dude, and it's easy to understand why.
Yeah, it takes about 5 seconds for sure. Yeah.
And he's a Chicago kid, and I want Chicago people to do well.
Yeah, absolutely.
The other thing that I've started doing is kind of investing in the careers of people who are making their own music and I feel are underappreciated. Mm-hmm. So, I brought Mike Tanza on. Mm-hmm. He works at Only the Beat, like, basically full-time now.
Yeah. I
mean, he and I were in the, venue all day today, like, hanging line arrays and,
He's hustling with you, yeah.
Yeah, just setting up venue. But he makes music, and it's really good. Mm-hmm. Deep Smith is another one. She gets booked by me quite a bit, almost too much.
I've been seeing her a lot.
Yeah, and she just plays just incredibly well.
Yeah.
And then we've got Tommy Garrett and James Chesney. Mm-hmm. I begged and pleaded with them. I was like, dude, you guys have to do a duo act, and they did. They called it Double Clutch.
Nice.
So they're going to be playing. I don't know.
Is Garrett British too?
No.
Okay. Because James is the fucking man.
Yeah. James is a man. Those two just like work together perfectly. So one of the things I'm actually doing is I used to DJ and like tour. Like I used to be a touring DJ.
Yeah.
And now that I don't really give a shit about like touring for myself, I'm like super focused on like building Only the Beat here.
Yeah.
What I am doing, though, is starting to work on, like, some gig exchanges with, like, event organizers who are like-minded in other cities.
Absolutely.
So I'm working very closely with, like, Doc Martin and the sub-level parties to get, like, a gig exchange going.
Option 4 parties, too?
I've talked to Brennan about it a few times.
What are those called again?
I have no idea.
But he's in
Denver, yeah.
Yeah, he is doing parties, though.
Yeah, it's the Hot Boy Records.
Yeah.
That's I mean, I would love to do something with him.
But those types of people.
Yeah, I'm talking to people in San Diego and in New York and Boston. And like, we're going to start to put together like some mini tours for some of these, acts. And, basically the unspoken agreement that I have with them is like, dude, here's the deal. Mm-hmm. I will give you all of my connections to all of the old places that I used to tour and all of the like promoters who used to book me. I don't care. I don't want anything in return. The only thing that I ask for is that when you become big and famous, you still play for homie rates for me.
All right.
Like, you know,
Yeah.
I get first dibs. That's
Yeah.
all I ask.
Yeah, they're probably fucking right there with you. And
You know, we'll see.
yeah.
We'll see. I've had acts, and this happens to everybody. You know, you get acts that you've been like really investing in their career. You've been booking them. They get really famous. They get a new agent, and they're like, "Dude, I'm sorry, I can't play for you anymore." You know, and that happens. That happens, and you have to really like, you know, some artists will still be like very loyal to you, right? Others, they sell out, they, you know, and like they have every right to, you know. If as a promoter I haven't grown with the artist, like you know, and they're too big for me, like, you know, what am I expecting, a charity case in return, you know?
Yeah, right.
And realistically, if I can't grow with the artists that I'm growing with, like, am I worth my salt as an event organizer?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. You're very humble and honest in that regard, which I got a lot of respect for, man.
Oh, thanks. You're probably the only person on the planet who will call me humble.
Well, I think at least the way you kind of present yourself, I mean, you really put others in front of yourself. Like, in one of the first parts of the interview, you said, like, I stopped DJing because I want to do what I'm best at, and that's giving other people a platform.
Yeah. I mean, you know, the reality is I have, like, ideas for how to DJ. I have ideas for tracks that I would like to produce and whatever. But, you know, one of the things that has just always been a constant, like in the past, like for as long as I've been throwing house parties, which way precedes only the beat, like the house parties have been a constant.
Yeah.
You know, people have always come up to me and been like, dude, you are made to throw parties. Like, you should throw parties for a living. You know, and I would always kind of like blow them off, you know, like, yeah whatever. Yes, I'm good at it, you know, just because I'm hung like a moose doesn't mean I need to do porn, you know. But, like...
Take the humble comment back.
Yes! No, but, like, just because I'm good at it doesn't mean that I have to do it. But,
I
like,
get that, yeah.
At the end of the day, like, you know, could I DJ? Maybe. You know, am I going to get super famous and, like, is that going to be, like, my claim to fame? You know what? Maybe not. It's like a 1 in 1,000 shot.
Right.
Could I invest in people who are more talented than me and, like, invest in their career and focus on what I'm good at by just, like, you know, throwing parties?
Yeah.
I feel like that's, you know, just, it's better for them, better for me.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And you are a good DJ, too. I know you know that.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I'll play occasionally and, like, you know, I mean, I definitely don't hate it. You know?
That you don't.
But, you know, it kind of comes back to why for me, you know, and I feel like the first couple of incarnations of Only the Beat, I had the why wrong. I wanted to be rich and famous.
Okay.
And, you know,
Yeah.
do be the big fucking dude on campus
Right.
or whatever.
Right.
And, like, now my why is that I want to, like, throw dope ass parties that bring people together and that are memorable, because I feel like as we get into this, like, dopamine addicted social media thing, music becomes disposable.
Yeah.
You know, people become disposable, tweets and texts and, like, all this shit becomes disposable.
Yeah.
I want to create something where people remember my parties and they remember how much fun they are. And I think that we have a formula for it, and that formula is bring people together. And so, you know, I would rather do that and, like, invest in the careers of other people because they're good at it. And, you know, maybe someday down the road they'll play for homely rates.
That's right. I'm happy you found your why, man.
Yeah.
And you are going to put together a guest mix for us, though, right?
I am going to put together a
What
guest
are
mix
we
for
going to
it.
get in this?
It's going to be, it's interestingly enough,
Yeah.
I sent an email this morning to Double Clutch, Emily Smith, or Deep Smith.
Yeah.
And Tanzed said, hey, give me your catalog. I want to showcase some of your music.
That's what I'm talking about.
So you'll
That's what I'm
be
looking
hearing
for.
some of that. And
Okay.
then, you know what? I mean, just other tracks that I like. you
Yeah,
know?
because you got a whole setup at home. Like, you got 4 CDJs, don't you?
Yeah, and I mean, right now a lot of the gear is at the warehouse getting set up for this weekend. But yeah, I mean, my house is set up to be a miniature club, and I run it like a club.
I gotta come through, dude.
You have to come to
I'm
a Braun
definitely coming.
Yeah. I mean, and here's the funny thing. So on the inside of the DJ booth, I have the autographs of like every. So one of the things that I like to do is like whenever somebody like big comes into town that I'm a fan of or have a relationship with, usually I throw an after party at my place for them.
Right.
I'll just I mean, so I've had Jody Westernoff has played the Braunasium. John Summit has played the Braunasium.
Yeah.
I've had who else? Golf Clap. What is it?
Wait, how are you getting away with this sound, dude?
Oh, dude, it's great. So it's a retail space downstairs. And she's only there like once or twice a month. The upstairs dude is like a 65-year-old preacher. I tell him I'm throwing a party. He takes his hearing aids out. It's great.
Oh my God.
All I have to do is keep like, or sometimes if I want, like if I'm throwing a party where it's like, look, I'm going to rattle the drywall off the walls with the subs. I'll just I'll just put him up in a hotel for the night. I've done that before.
What a good guy.
Oh, it is so funny.
Does he ever want to come?
No, but you know what I will say? I will say two things about him that are pretty dope.
Yeah.
So, first of all, like a lot of these parties go late.
Yeah.
And if it's Saturday night, Sunday, 9 in the morning, people are still out on my back balcony. We're still like full steam ahead.
Everybody's
partying.
hanging out, yep.
He's dressed to the nines in a suit, coming down the stairs, getting ready to go preach in his church. And like the party will just stop for a minute. Like, really, is this happening? We like everyone's like such degenerates.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Hey, man, like, what's going on?" Like, he does not. He knows that this is like
legend,
just
man.
an after hours, and he doesn't care.
Yeah.
And there was one time, like, when I bought the liner rays and the subs, like, I was like, dude, you got to come over. Like, we bang on each other's doors, and, like, we hang out and whatever.
Cordial.
Well, so I was like, dude, you got to come, like, I'm going to put this on for full blast. And so I started, I just put on, like, just some house track. And he started, like, singing gospel on top of it. And, like, I was like, dude, if I made music, I would have you, like, living here, just taking your samples.
Yeah, you could probably get a sick tech house sample of him
Oh,
preaching.
he just does, like, these, I don't even know, like, praise the Lord, and whatever, and, like, he gets into it. And
yeah, that's amazing, dude.
Yeah, I mean, like, so I used to live in this building that we're currently in. Sherm and I used to be neighbors unknowingly. And I don't know if you know this or not, but this building has a $500 noise complaint fee.
I know.
Now, the reason why I know that is because I just consider that to be, like, a cost of doing business. And, I think I paid like $2,000 a month in rent, and I probably paid exactly that in like noise
cost of doing business
in noise complaint fees.
That's hilarious.
I mean, I would have live bands in here
in this building.
In this building, it was literally, I was like 10 floors down from you. It was unit 2203. That was my ATM pin for a while too. It's not anymore.
Okay, yeah.
I don't mind saying it on the air raves anymore. But
holy shit, man.
Yeah, no, I mean, this was like in 2009, 2010. Mm-hmm. This building was mostly empty back then. It was
around
the house.
2008. It was built or something. 2007.
It was built in like 2009. I was one of the first people who moved in.
Yeah.
And I had absolutely no fucks to give.
Yeah.
And, like, people could noise complain, fine, police would show up, It was like, dude, this is happening, and, like,
You're absurd, dude. God. The most humbly, unapologetic, crazy motherfucker I've ever met, I gotta say. Dude, this was awesome, man. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
Sharing your story. This is great. Everybody's got to follow Only the Beat. I'm coming to the next party I possibly can.
Yeah.
And I'm coming to the Braunasium at the very least.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess I'll plug the Instagram. It's at Only the Beat Music. Only the Beat on Facebook. And then my Insta is I'm Justin Braun. But hurry up and follow now because, by this time next year, hopefully they won't exist
Hurry
anymore.
up and follow now so you can get on the mailing list.
Yeah, right.
And get a Polaroid with them.
Yeah, get a Polaroid. Yeah, Polaroid and maybe a handwritten letter mailed to your address.
Awesome, man. Well, I really appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure.